This video is made possible by our loyal Patreon supporters. Visit patreon.com. Be sure to subscribe and click the notification bell so you don't miss any of our videos.
Hey everybody, welcome. My name is Melissa, and today I will be doing a very yin back massage. I've been talking about approaching one's movement and even really one's life from a softer, more fluid perspective. As perhaps an alternative that could sometimes be a better approach as far as reaching our goals or, doing quality work, whether that's at our jobs or during our yoga practice or our workout. This approach includes listening to our bodies and allowing things to naturally, organically arise. So this is in contrast to a more mental, forceful approach, which is, these are two sides of the same coin, right? So sometimes the most appropriate approach will be the more yang, the more forceful, focused, assertive. But just like with light bulbs, if you leave them on for too long, it shortens their life. It makes them not as effective at being light bulbs. And so having the ability to navigate different ways of being, different ways of approaching how we use our energy, how we move about in the world. It's just having another tool in our toolboxes. And all you have is a hammer, everything starts to look like a nail. So what happens when we add, a screwdriver or something else? This metaphor is breaking down pretty quickly. So we could take the same massage, and I could be doing these movements with a lot more vigor, perhaps. But to illustrate the fluidity that I'm looking for, I'm allowing, yes, I'm using some force. I'm using the strength of my arm and my back, and actually I'm going to go ahead and ground down through my feet so that the power is coming more from my hips and my legs. But I'm not pushing, I could push more, but I really want her tissue to lead the way. So as her fascia, the connective tissue between the skin and the muscles, and that surrounds all of the muscles and our tendons and joints. I'm allowing that to give way, and that's dictating the movement. And so one of the things that's happening is that there's not going to be any resistance, right? Since the tissue is softening in its own time and I'm not pushing or trying to force it. Like, see, okay, like right now I just hit some tension and the tissue's not moving. Okay, yeah, she's taking a breath. I'm going to breathe too. And I eased up my pressure a little bit because I want her tissue to know that it's safe, it's okay. Right now what's more appropriate is just slowness. Okay. And I just felt this whole sheath, this whole like wide swath of tissue just soften. There we go. Awesome. So this approach is really effective and applicable to lots of areas, but also specifically what just came to mind is, perhaps you have a home practice of using one of those foam rollers or tennis balls, or as good as self-massage and self-therapeutic work is, if we're approaching our muscles and our trigger points with more of a ferocious, I want this knot to soften and dissolve, and like that very, very much that goal-oriented place, then we risk bypassing the body's wisdom. Okay, and this side was already so much softer. For therapists and the lay massagers, sometimes a really effective approach to a tight side, a tight area, is to work the opposite side first. And that allows the tighter side to mirror the side that was just worked, which is what just happened with this low back connective tissue right here. Slow is steady, steady is fast. Sometimes in the interest of quality, whether that's job performance or getting the right kind of stretch, going more softly can be very effective. So I wonder what would happen if you took almost a quieter approach to your next workout, or even, a deadline as simple as making dinner. Same steps, right? Gonna chop the same onion and boil the same pasta, do the same, push-ups or reps. But we can potentially shift our mindset. How are we approaching it? Is it that aggressive, hard, potentially even with some shame or criticism mixed in? And just maybe do an experiment and contrast how you feel and what kind of results you get if you approached whatever next task you have with a sense of openness, open to the experience, to what's happening, rather than being fixed on a future state. Some other words to describe this more opposite state are fluid, flowing, organic. It's allowing something to unfold rather than to go digging for it. There's some different fitness techniques that combine these two approaches, where you might be cold. Sorry, babe. Where you do intense, explosive bursts of action, whether it's reps or running, and then that's countered by stillness and deeply resting. It's a really good workout for the heart because it's forcing the circulatory system to adapt to two extreme states. This is magnesium oil. This is the more yin mineral in comparison to calcium, which is stimulating and contracts the muscle. Magnesium is the mineral that unhooks, unlatches those muscle fibers. Magnesium is the muscle of the mineral of the parasympathetic nervous system, and is essential for healthy muscles, healthy brain, healthy nervous system. If you have any kind of stress in your life, if you ever experience anxiety or muscle tension, I highly recommend experimenting with magnesium, whether topically or as a supplement, or simply by eating more magnesium-rich foods like leafy greens or nuts. I think also there are some legumes that are high in magnesium. So this is some shea butter from Nature's Shea Butter. Shea butter isn't necessarily shea butter it can be a little bit hard to work with because, as you can see, it's very solid right now. And so I need to I'm just going to, use the heat of my body and the heat from Karina to soften it up. But it does have a really nice thick texture, which, since we're going for something a little bit more flowing, fluid, and yin, is pretty awesome. So one way that this approach is really nourishing to the body specifically is for the joints. If you're taking your movement practice and slowing it down and working more within your range of motion rather than approaching your edge, that can create a sense of containment for the joints, and soft, gentle movements stimulate the production of the lubrication fluid that keeps our joints moving smoothly. We're humans, our bodies have evolved to be moving constantly. And so, but it's easy to think that only the big movements, or the hour-long workout, only those are good and beneficial, when truly we can find a lot of relief, both physically, but also mentally and emotionally, by approaching movement from more of a place of stillness. It's a little bit of a contradiction. But it can be really grounding and nourishing, which oftentimes is what we need before we can go back out and do the big things. This is all in support of having the results you want. And if you have been trying to do something for a while and it just hasn't been happening, or you're feeling blocked or stuck, then perhaps even just changing how you approach it, how you're using your energy, could potentially shift the situation. And oftentimes we find our solution, or a better solution, in places that feel different, or new, or unfamiliar. We see examples of this dynamic in nature. We have the seasons where things warm up and they cool down. Our lungs expand and contract. We start out really small and we grow bigger and taller, and then we almost shrink back down again as we complete our life cycle. So because of my softness earlier, I am now able to go a little bit more deeply, like in an organic, welcoming sense. Her back muscles are open to the deeper pressure. Less resistance, less tension, better work. Had I been more forceful and more yang, I might have created more tension, and it might have taken more time and effort to bring the muscles to this place of softness and opening. And we also see this cycle with our two main states, waking and sleeping. We need sleep more than we need food at a survival level. We can go longer without food than we can without sleep. And so that stillness that we come to in sleep is necessary for our physical health, for our survival. And that also illustrates that yin and yang, the expansion of awake, the contraction of sleep. This is a really good way to approach things if you're feeling tired or want more energy. It can be more efficient and help you to conserve and gather your strength. If you're not wanting to or not feeling like this is something you want to intentionally practice, you can you could potentially play with it by getting a massage after you have an intense workout, or experimenting with napping during the day. Or I wonder what's arising for you. Like, what is coming to mind as you consider these two different states and how to potentially modify your approach to energy, your own energy, to improve your results. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope that you found some benefit, some relief, or maybe even some tools from this video. I know that I feel more relaxed and centered after being here with you. And I look forward to seeing you again next time.
Introducing Yoga Plus, offering a free series every month with over 300 different videos. Take control of your health. Work out anytime, anywhere. Yoga Plus. Download now for free.